Okay, well, hello, this is Kat Steffens, and I'm with Kat's Trunk, and this is going to be a short tutorial on doing the Lark's Head knot and a few variations on it. So this is meant for both beginners and seasoned knot workers, because I've got a couple new variations that you may or may not be aware of. Okay, so the basic Lark's Head knot, which is this one right here, and this is the reverse, so that's easily done. The regular Lark's Head knot is done by passing your loop over the top of your base, also known as the spar, and coming up from underneath and pulling your cords down into the loop and pulling it up tight. That makes your Lark's Head knot. If you want to do the reverse Lark's Head knot, that's easy. You pull up from behind so your base over the top, and you pull your cords through. That makes your reverse Lark's Head knot. These are the basics. All right, the fun part is when we get into this particular version of the Lark's Head knot. This is the round turn Lark's Head knot, and this one right here is the round turn and a cow hitch. The Lark's Head knot is also called the cow knot, and the reason it's called Lark's Head and cow knot is because of this little bit right here. This resembles the crown of the beak on a lark's head. It also resembles closely the brow of a cow. So it depends on where you're looking at for origins, who's calling it Lark's Head and who's calling it cow knot, which is probably why this one is called round turn and a cow hitch, because it pulls in both reference names. This version is the simple Lark's Head knot with 2 half hitches, and I'll go into why you would want to use that. So let's go to the round turn Lark's Head knot and see how it's made. So you'll see that it's got this little piece right here, which is similar to the regular Lark's Head knot. So it's going to be, you'll be taking your loop over the top of your piece, your base, and pulling the cords down through the loop. But before you pull it up tight, you're going to do what's called giving your standing cord a bite, which basically means you're taking your left cord up from behind and pulling it back down through the loop again, and the same with the right cord, taking it from behind and pulling it down through the loop again. That way you've created this bit of a twist here, and as you ease your cords up tight to your base, it will form that added feature. And one of the great things about this particular knot is it's stronger. It actually stays in place better. You may have noticed that in the past when you're using the regular Lark's Head knot, that sometimes if you walk away from your work before you've tied any knots below it, sometimes it comes loose. This will actually keep your Lark's Head knot in place. This is actually my new favorite version of the Lark's Head knot, which is, it's really fun to do. And let's actually go over that again. How do you do this one? So you bend you fold your cord in half, you take your loop over the top of your base piece, around the back and up underneath, pulling your cords down through the loop. And then again, before you tighten your loop up, you take you could go left or right first, it doesn't matter. Your left cord back up from behind and over the top, and again your right cord from behind over the top and back down into the loop. And that way you've created this twist on both sides with your cord and you just pull it, gradually cinch it up tight. And you should do it gradually because you're having to ease your cord through the two sets of loops. So let's do the variation on this round turn. Let's do the round turn and a cow hitch. So for the round turn and cow hitch, this one's fun too. So you're going to go over the top, around the back, and up from below, and pull your cords through like the regular lark's head knot. But this time you're going to spread your cords apart because you're going to bring the tails of your cords back up and through again and drop them down your loop. That way you've got your cord going over your spar twice, and now you're going to do the rounded part of the lark's head knot, first with the left and then with the right cord. And I've gone off camera, sorry. I'll do this again in a minute. And then you ease up your cord. Let's do this one again for you. So you take your cord over the top of your base, around the back and up from below, and pull your hanging cords down in between. That way you've got your basic lark's head knot. And this time you're going to take your two cords and you're going to come back up over the top and flip them over and go down the loop again. That way you've got your cord going over the top of your base twice, and before you pull it up tight, we're going to do the rounded turn by first looping the left side through and then looping the right side through and easing everything up. All right, and a good reason to use this particular version of the lark's head knot is, aside from being very pretty and decorative, what this area up here does is it creates more space that will be between, when you actually start making your knots going down your cord, it'll create more space between your work, and that may be an aesthetic that you're going for. If you're not wanting to create that additional space, you may not want to use this particular knot. And then the last version of the lark's head knot that I was going to show you is the one with the half hitches on either side. So this is pretty straightforward. It's a regular lark's head knot, over the top, down the back, up from underneath. Pull your cords down through and go ahead and cinch it up. And this time you're going to add a half hitch on both sides of the lark's head knot. And what this does is it allows for space between your cords when you're using your lark's head knot just to start a beading project. If all you're doing is beading and you need 2 strands of beads coming off from your initial knot, I use this one when I'm making my goddess bracelet because I need space between the beads. And this knot will do it for you. This will space things out. And in terms of how the knots look, in terms of how this particular knot looks on the small scale, this is what it will do for your cords. It will spread them out and give you space. And I do this when I'm just doing beading with my cords, because that actually allows me the gap between, so the beads on either strand are not butting up against each other. I like that knot. And also on the small scale, this is a comparison between a regular lark's head knot and the round turn lark's head knot. You don't lose the detail. It still comes out, it's still visible, and it's just a pretty effect, and it actually is tighter for this application. It's a tighter knot against the jump ring, where even here, the two lark's head knots are a bit on the loose side before you start tying the rest of your knots below, whereas here the round turn lark's head knot is very stable. And hopefully we'll include a still photo of this so you can see the detail a little bit more. All right, in terms of the round turn lark's head knot, how it looks in actual application next to a regular lark's head knot, this is what it would look like. So I've got a pair of cords here started with the round turn lark's head knot and square knots below, and here's a regular lark's head knot with square knots below. So it's all in the aesthetics of the piece that you're working with, which one you want to go with. So I hope this short, brief tutorial was helpful, and please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you very much.